want to talk to Joe in Oklahoma.
Let's do it.
Joe, you're live with Eric and V. What would you like to talk about? Hi.
Hi. Thank you for picking up my call. I actually didn't know exactly what time your show was, but I was referred this week. It's the first time I've heard the show.
Oh,
Cool.
awesome.
It says that you're a religious person. Is that true?
Well, I would have to be qualified that. That's what people call me.
Okay. So what do you think of the show so far?
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, no, I think you were just answering what I was about to ask. I was saying, what do you think of the show so far?
Oh, I enjoy it. I really, like I was telling the screener, I don't believe, even according to the Bible, that it's possible to have faith unless you have it grounded in a skepticism that leads to reason, a very solid reason. Then you get hope and then faith and love that come from that. So I would never diminish the idea of skepticism and reason. It's just
Nice.
reducing the amount of bias we have.
That
reducing
puts you,
our bias.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say that puts you in a no worries. With the delay the way it is, it's going to happen. As long as we're patient with each other, we should be okay. But that puts you, I was going to say, that puts you on rarefied ground. I've definitely met a good couple of apologists who definitely
if you don't mind, I'm going to rarefy that ground even more. Okay.
Go for it. Blow our minds.
I have a copyright on the Bible, and you probably don't have too many callers that say that.
Nope. I highly doubt it's enforceable, but that's probably not the direction you want to go with the call.
I don't even look to lawyers for the idea of enforcing it in the earth. I actually believe there's greater reality, and I trust that. I'm not looking to fight anyone. I'm just looking to establish facts.
Well, let's dive into some of the things that we don't agree with to see if we can find, because you said that there's a greater reality. What is this greater reality?
Yes. Well, I'm going to establish the first fact that lets us know that there's a greater reality regarding understanding the Bible than humanity ever had until I copyrighted this version of it. Okay? If you go to Stephen Wells' Skeptics Annotated Bible, 5 of his first 10 contradictions that he lists is that there's 2 creation accounts that do not agree with each other. Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't discover his book till 2016, although I resolved those 5 conflicts in 2010. The Bible has a paradox in the beginning. There are two contradictory creation accounts, but if you follow the instructions, they become one.
So
they tell a whole different story. Yes.
So are you fashioning yourself as a prophet?
I'm not fashioning myself as anything. I'm just telling you that the Bible has a fuller message, and there's thousands of years of testimony that say that the message of the Bible, the gospel, doesn't start till chapter 3. And I have a copyright that begins in chapters 1 and 2. And since I was a kid, I was taught 1 and 2 come before 3. So
I think he's talking about
in the book of Revelation. In the book of Revelation, chapter 5, it says that there was a book that no one was worthy to open, and it had 7 seals. And no one could figure it out until now. And I'm just saying it is the Bible. If you go to www.
Hold on, Joe. Joe, hold on. So we definitely don't
raise money. I don't raise money. If you want to get the information after the phone call. What?
So, well, hold on. You're making some very big claims. Number one, those claims presuppose that the Bible and God and all of those things are true. So when you refer to them, they hold 0 weight with us. That might hold weight with a Christian, but it definitely holds 0 weight with us. So referring back to Revelations, you might as well do the same with Lord of the Rings.
No.
So
No, I'm not talking about a prophecy. Hold on just a second. I'm talking about facts that can be followed up on. It's an ancient piece of literature. It has a puzzle in the beginning, and in its last book, it gives you the keys to opening up that puzzle.
Right.
So you're saying that in the book of Revelation is the key to a puzzle in chapters 1 and 2 of Genesis?
Well, even more than being the key, because the keys are in there, it actually says that a puzzle exists, a book that no one could open. It had 7 seals.
Sure.
Also, to open it.
Also, how many rings were forged in Mordor?
9 for the elven kings under the sky, 7 for the dwarf lords in our halls of stone, 9 for mortal men born
I'm
to
sure
die.
that's a very meaningful story too.
So okay, now we have 2 mythologies. If you're going to convince us, you've got to give us something extra biblical, because so far that what you just said and what V just said are equal in my mind. Help me. Why should I take you serious? Why should I take you seriously?
No, but the thing is, if the author that regarding those rings didn't make a logical story, why would you ever even sit down to watch and enjoy it or read it?
For entertainment.
Am I correct? I'm not going to watch a stupid story unless I'm maybe smoking weed, which I don't do.
Well, I love playing video games and reading fiction. I love fantasy. I love playing D&D. I mean, there are plenty of things that I do that
But they're still consistent. They're consistent stories, and you expect to find a plot and discover things.
Okay, how's that different from the Bible?
Well, it's not.
Okay, so then we're in agreement. So what are we talking about?
Yes.
It sounds like you're an atheist.
So I'm giving you some facts to check out that the Bible actually has 2 disagreeing accounts because they are a puzzle. It's a paradox. And I'm telling you, I put it together. And by doing so, the Bible tells a whole different story starting in the beginning. And
Okay,
that story becomes a bizarre challenge to all of mankind.
Well, it is bizarre. I can agree with you there.
Well, so here's the thing, man.
Well,
there are people who've called in. I'm sure you've heard of the Bible Code, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There are plenty of people who've called in who said that they believe in the Bible Code, that if you apply certain numbers and look at specific letters in a certain way, that you can pull out hidden pieces of information. In fact, I had what was it? Who was the caller? Was it Kevin who called in to talk about secret messages in the Bible?
Yeah.
Okay, there are plenty of callers who've done that.
How much? Yeah.
And I actually spent hours researching what he brought up, and ultimately it boils back down to secret, hidden information, secrets that need to be unlocked. And the thing is, it's so far it's a game. Now,
let me give you some. Yeah, I think the likelihood is that the evidence you would pick up quickly would say we may well be living in a game, or there's someone intelligent that's playing games with us. It doesn't mean they actually created us. But the idea that the Bible had a very simple puzzle in the beginning, and that it has been resolved thousands of years after it was there, I think it tells a significant amount about the arrogance that's actually in the human psyche regarding our knowledge or lack of it of the Creator, and our desire to defend our bias rather than seek the truth. I think the puzzle there was for that purpose.
The thing is, Joe, what you just said, I think applies to you.
Of course, it applies to everyone.
Okay, so then why would you be worth our time? Why should we listen to Joe? So, because here's the thing, man, if you're pointing at the result to justify the means, then we're not going to follow you there. There are lots of results that can come from different means. I want you to justify your means.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. You said that there's a puzzle in the Bible.
It may not be worth your time to test my claim. Okay, it may not be worth your time to test my claim, but I'll put at least this significant part in there. When you remove the contradictions by putting the 2 accounts together, you find man is made on day 3 in the story. That would be a man being raised to life would be a type of the resurrection. I'm not saying that means you should believe in the resurrection. I'm just saying that the story has an earlier testimony of the resurrection than chapter 3.
Joe,
and
I think, number one, I think you broke V. Number 2, I think you may have left the phone.
I missed the word.
No, that's okay. There's a lot there that I think lends itself to wanting yourself to be special, conspiracy mindsets, and there are things that we can ask you. We tried going down that road, right? We're trying to ask you questions to flesh it out. And so far, you're just going back to your tagline. So I'll try one more time before we move on to the next call. Okay, I want you to answer this instead of going back to the line. And the question is, how do you know that what you're saying is true? How do you know that the process that you're using is correct?
Well, one of the ways is I went to one of the leading Bible publishers and I brought him my work back in 2016, and I followed up for 3 years, even though he was slow getting back to me. But after 3 hours of meetings where he was tremendously excited, the only reason they aren't publishing the book is it would be controversial and it goes against their guidelines in that fashion.
Okay, there are plenty of publishers. There's plenty of self-publishing, and also that's just not how research works. On top of that, flat earthers say that. You now have the exact amount of credibility as a flat earther.
A flat earther? That's funny, because when I discovered this stuff, I was looking to correct a guy that thought that the Earth was the center of the solar system, and he thought it was day 4 in the Bible that convinced him of that. So I was going to help him see the benefits of Copernicus and let go of some of his craziness. That's why I went there. What I discovered was something other.
Are you a flat earther, Joe?
No, sir. No, I helped him with his weak view of the universe, but no, I'm not.
Okay, so
I actually took a literal.
Yeah,
record.
Here's the deal. I do want you to call back. I want to point out that there are a lot of claims that were made here. Claims about Genesis, claims about Exodus, claims about Revelation. There were claims about your process. There were claims about the results of your process. And each of those things can be its own conversation. And what I want to do is I'm glad. What I want to do is I want to narrow in on one of those so that we can have a meaningful conversation about one of those things. I think that we've run out of time for this week, but I would love for you to, because I'm going to go back and listen to this. I would love for you to pick one of those claims and call back in so that we can go more in depth, because right now we're very, very broad and shallow. And what I want to do is I want to get very, very deep and narrow. I want to zoom in on some of these things because I want to know whether or not you're justified in doing them.
Yeah, and you'd have to verify looking at a very simple 2-page correlation of 2 accounts that have been written for a long time. I'm sure you've read them and seen all kinds of stuff in there that don't make sense. Sure. And look at the one that I put together.
Mail at Talk.
So I could give you that web address offline.
No, shoot it to me. Mail at talkheathen.com. If it feels, if we see value in it, we can push it out from there. Sound good?
Mail it where?
Oh, at talkheathen.com.
Is there an email there, or just how does that work?
Oh, mail, M-A-I-L, at.
Oh, mail at Talkheathen. Okay, I got it. All right.
All righty, man. Thanks for calling.
I'll send it to you.
All right.
All right, take care.
Sorry, I kind of left you there.
That is okay. There's a pinata there that is just dying for some attention. I want to shake that out. So that gets me excited. Good.